to say goodbye, Jules. You never left me without saying goodbye.
No clues, no fingerprints, no motive, nothing.
Surely if a man was choked to death, there would be imprints on his throat.
Why in the world do you stay in this place?
We can't leave.
No, Speedy, not now. It's too late to hunt rabbits. Oh, come on, let's get some sleep. Whew. Don't worry, Speedy. We'll get up at 5 in the morning and really blast that bully. I can taste that fried rabbit now. Remember, boy, you'll never catch that rabbit unless you get a good night's sleep. Now get plenty of rest, lots of sleep, boy. Remember, you won't catch that rabbit unless you get a lot of sleep.
Number, please. Number. I'm sorry, they do not answer. Your 3 minutes are up. That number has been disconnected. Deposit 10 cents for 5 minutes, please. I'm sorry, we do not have that information. Long distance. At the sound of the tone, the time will be exactly 12:05, please. Number, please. Information. Oh, you're calling.
Okay, time to get up. Let's go. Let's get that rabbit. Come on, boy. Wake up. Let's go get him. Come on. You had plenty of sleep. Let's go. Better boy, Speedy. Get in there and get him. Go get him. Dig him out there. Dig him out there, boy. Bring him out there. Dig him out. Hey, Speedy. What's the matter down there?
I feel myself going back to the animal instinct. I lock myself in there with him, fearing that I might do something terrible. Ellie! Ellie!
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I am your host, Spakenstein, and thanks everybody so much for joining us tonight. We're here in the house, and we've got a whole bunch of special new friends, as you can see. Regular Scream Stream viewers will know. We've got a few more extra friends in the house. So welcome everybody that's joining us from the Double Drive-In. That would be the Drunk Review YouTube channel. Some really cool cats over there have been so gracious to come and spend their time with us tonight. So we are stoked to have everybody here. If this is your first time watching, just formally welcome you and tell you a little bit about what we are. We are a public domain horror movie live stream, and that's what we do here. We do all public domain horror all the time, but I should probably put an asterisk on that because it's like, you know, we get a lot of mystery, a lot of thrillers, you know, we don't some sci-fi. We're not exclusively horror, but you know, it all overlaps. As you loyal drive-in viewers will know, I mean, you're gonna get all kinds of fun fare at the drive-in. And we've got some pretty fun fare tonight. If you are a longtime viewer of this show, which I know Wayne I believe watches both of these channels, we get a lot of old dark house murder mysteries on this show, and so that's what we've got for you here tonight. And you know, we serve up facts, we serve up laughs. Usually we serve up drinks when my co-host is here. He's on sabbatical right now, new father, so he's not joining me, but he pairs a cocktail with the evening's film. But we've been flying solo recently, but it's been fun. I certainly feel like a DJ when I'm in here hanging out with you guys. And, you know, again, if you're joining us from the Double Drive-In, we got a lot of cool people that hang out over here. Alana Shelley, Sears, Kathy, those are our regulars. I've hung out over at the drive-in a couple times over the past week, so I'm starting to get to know some of the faces over there. But you guys are a really, really awesome crew. And we love again, the way that our show works is, you know, we'll show like other movies and stuff on other nights, but we only show like what we've presented on the stream. That's our library. The great thing about the drive-in is they're pairing up all kinds of new cool things every weekend. So if you're a Scream streamer and you haven't gone and checked out the Drunk Reviews Double Drive-In, definitely do that. But we're gonna do what we always do here, which is enjoy some good old-fashioned horror. Again, like I said, tonight's movie's a mystery, but what we find with a lot of these old movies, and this is why I do the show, is the facts, the way that all these movies are kind of like tangentially connected. It's amazing. It's weird. It's wild. That's what I live for on this show. So I'll be bringing you facts about the actors, the directors, the writer, people involved, all kinds of good stuff. Again, tonight's film, 1936's The Rogues Tavern. And, you know, kind of on the, like, we've already seen like a dozen old dark house murder mysteries on this show. So I think that we're getting like, you know, we're kind of getting to a point where we've seen some big, like, illustrious ones. The most recent one that we watched was The Cat and the Canary, which, not the 1939 version some of you might have seen, the silent 1927 version. That's kind of considered like the pinnacle of these old dark house movies. And as we saw, for a lot of cool, inventive things. But then, you know, you got things like, obviously, the Old Dark House. That's not quite a murder mystery. You know, really the early 30s, for a variety of reasons we've talked about before on this show, you get a lot of these drawing room, Old Dark House, Dark Knight murder mysteries. So that's what we've got tonight. It should be fun. It comes from low-budget movie producer Sam Katzman, who was active in the industry for decades. So we'll be talking about him tonight. Our audience may know Katzman's Lugosi movies, the Monogram 9 that Lugosi did for Monogram Studios. Those were all movies produced by Sam Katzman. So we got some horror pedigree with the producer tonight, Sam Katzman. But of course, we'll be talking about fun actors and actresses, you know, and I got my little fact sheet here as I always do. You know, these older movies, it's kind of hard to fill out a complete fact sheet, but I try. But yeah, we're excited for it, and we always tend to, we have fun. You guys are coming from the drive-in. Think of this more like you stepped into the living room. And now we're all just sitting on couches and chairs and love seats, and hopefully some of you are keeping your hands to yourselves. And we're gonna turn the lights down, and we're gonna have some laughs. And so I hope everybody's got their drinks and their candies and their popcorn. I know if you're coming from the drive-in, you already brought all that stuff with you. Our audience, again, they're usually used to us serving up a cocktail or something. Again, my co-host Evan is he's getting his much needed rest, because we've watched over 100 movies on this show. I don't know if some of you knew out there there's over 100 public domain horror movies, and there's many more. That's what we dig into in this show, is just how deep the public domain goes. And I can assure you that we'll have at least enough films to last into the 200s, and then stuff's just going to start entering public domain. We've only got 2 or 3 years until Frankenstein and Dracula. So we'll be able to, again, I'm sure it's easier said than done. But one day, we'll be able to watch Frankenstein and Dracula on here, so that'll be a lot of fun. I know a living room is a little, you can't beep your horn whenever you want to warn the heroine that there's a creepy guy lurking behind the curtains. I know there's some normal things you guys are doing in the drive-in, but here in the living room, treat it like the drive-in. If you want to make a honking sound, honk, 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 that's cool. We love sound effects over here. So we're just super excited to have all you guys. Really, really, so thankful for the drunk review for letting us all hang out and fellow movie lovers enjoying some. Again, we've been doing this show for about 3 years now, if you're new to this. And that's always been the goal of this show, is to spread the love of these old movies and not let them, be forgotten. And I know that's what you guys are doing at the drive-in every week. And we try to do that at least on Fridays and sometimes other days. I've been slacking. Sometimes I do mini-sodes and slacking a little bit on those. But yeah, so welcome to the Scream Stream. Again, I wouldn't say we're not all an acquired taste. You might have to watch out for Alana and Kathy. They're they like to sneak popcorn and some candies. They might reach into your tub, so watch out for them. But we are, we're really excited for this, and again, this is, like I said, coming from a time when they were making a lot of these movies, especially what are known as Poverty Row Studios, which would be Monogram and PRC. Again, if you know those Lugosi movies, The Ape Man, which we'll talk about later tonight, all that's kind of the realm of low budget. We're talking way below the studios here. Old Dark House movies are kind of easy to make. You just need a living room and a couple bedroom sets, and that's it. That's all you need. So that's what a lot of enterprising producers took advantage of at this time. And you actually got some pretty interesting murder mysteries out of it. So that's one thing I want to see tonight. I want to poll the audience and ask you guys, just kind of save this question for the end of the movie, but I want to know where this ranks in your old Dark House movies. Again, there's a lot. If you've seen the old Dark House, if you've probably seen at least 10 other ones. So, we'll see. Again, what we find on this show is that we're always surprised by what, especially indie productions, are able to do with their limitations, right? And we're always kind of mystified and baffled. And sometimes the results leave a little bit to be desired. But I do think that, this one, I'm interested to know if you guys think it's quality, if you guys think it's trash. Again, we don't normally use like words like trash to describe movies on here, but let's leave it up to you. But if you haven't seen, Old Dark House is good. I haven't seen this one either. Body Ba 79. That's kind of been the weird thing about this show and me loving public domain horror movies is I've seen a lot, but just now, my getting into my third year of doing this show, I'm starting to get a whole season of movies that I've never seen before. This season is our 11th, 12th? Maybe it's our 12th season. Yeah, I think it's season 12. And I have not seen a single movie in this season, so I'm loving it. So I hope you guys like it. Again, if you don't, let me know. The beauty of having you guys here and the scrolling chat is, we all get to make jokes and laugh along together. That's what the Scream Stream is all about. So really excited to get into the Rogues Tavern tonight. Should be interesting. Again, this is post-production code. So if you guys know anything about the Hays Code, which was it was established in the early 30s, but really started to be implemented in like 34. We've seen a few pre-code Old Dark House movies, but we haven't seen, I don't know if we've seen a post-code, but the pre-code ones have been interesting. They've been risque. So I don't know if we'll get any risque stuff here. Be on the lookout for that. Because, you still had creative filmmakers that were trying to skirt the code at this time, that pesky production code. And so, we'll see. Again, I try not to spoil these movies for myself or for you guys. So I don't know too much about it other than it's a murder mystery, and to give you a little tease that the suspected killer is a wolf dog. So that's a fun. Hey, anytime that you're gonna throw we think it's another monster in the mix. Even though I know it's probably a red herring, got me. I'm interested. And yeah, this might be similar to another movie we've seen in that respect, but we'll talk about that later. We've got plenty of time to get into it tonight. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, make sure you got your snacks, your drinks. You guys are all ready to go. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of the Rogues Tavern right now. Wallace Ford is, let's be talking about him later. You'll probably recognize Wallace Ford's face, and we've seen him in at least one other movie on this show, which we'll talk about later. Barbara Pepper, she's an interesting name, you may not recognize her now, but when I tell you what she was in, you'll be like, she's in a famous sitcom from the 60s. Won't spoil it. Oh, Thomas PPP, I've got to see The Invisible Dog. Oh, one of John Caden's most boring.
Marjorie Burns.
Your occupation?
Well, I was a detective in a department store.
Oh, okay.
What is your name?
Jimmy Kelly. I am a detective.
At
wow,
least you
got
will
her.
Be able to keep track of me.
Got her.
Yeah, you signed right on.
That's right, Thomas.
We'd like to get married.
Talking about
right away.
That later.
If you're in a hurry, I'm afraid you're in the wrong state. I have a friend, a justice of the peace, across the line. I'd be only too happy to send him a telegram. You want me to meet you at Red Rock Tavern.
Oh, that'd be very nice of you.
Are you married?
No, I was born this way.
all right. You gotta love a cheesy early 30s joke. I'm game for it. But look at that big chair. All right, we don't get a lot of dolly shots in these like even mid-30s movies, much less a very long dolly shot like we're getting right now. I love it. I'm here for it. Yeah, drunk review. We really appreciate you sharing the love, man. We really do. God, look, the camera is still moving. Again, it's not the static bomb, bomb, bomb. I'm judging it one shot in, so it shouldn't. And even the camera panning, come on. I'm here for all that.
This is the kind of night that gives me the willies.
The willies. How many of you guys out there ever had the willies?
As soon
I
as
don't know
I
about
can
myself.
save enough money, I'm going to get out of here. I want to be where there's lights. Sounds like the wailing of ghosts.
Ghosts?
What makes ghosts wail, Mrs. Jameson?
Oh, Bert, don't ask foolish questions. Go and put another log on the fire.
Yes.
Say, Mason, why do you think Wentworth asked us to meet
Yeah,
here?
Romarts, it probably was a toy wagon. Looked a little
Whatever he
rickety.
has on his mind must be important. Bill's message read the same as ours.
Tavern life, am I right?
But what I can't understand is why he wants to see Gloria.
You're not bad at this gag.
Have I told you anything yet?
Yes, I've taken that journey that you mentioned. And if I placed this dark woman properly, you've told me plenty.
I should go into this thing as a business instead of...
Yeah, you're not making money off this?
That's a bad card, isn't it?
Worst fortune teller ever. The
That
ace
is the
of
card of
spades.
death, Harrison.
Well, it's funny. I feel all right.
Yeah, Wayne, I
Sometimes
have not seen that. I've heard of it, but I
cards
haven't seen
lie.
it.
Personally, I haven't much confidence in this sort of thing.
That's a bad sign.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thanks for the input.
Well, at any rate, I'll be careful.
That's always a good idea.
Look at that arched
Excuse me.
eyebrow.
I think I'll go to my room.
It's just like Lucille Bluth winking. Yeah, this is a perfect movie for a cold night, which I'm currently experiencing a pretty snowy one in my neck of the woods. Which we don't see a lot of snow around here. Gosh, she's still holding that sour face. She's got a little too many sour candies from the concession stand. I do love this, though. This is a great close-up. Oh, look at him. He's exercising his... I mean, I guess you got to.
Here we are, honey.
Until he's feeling some
There's a nice fireplace.
pent-up anger.
Yeah, you got a fireplace?
Oh, we got one inside.
Well, fireplace
I hope
won't
so.
come to us. I guess we'll have to go to it.
Keep the change. Here, honey.
There's no way that's a real car. His windows were way too big.
Well, there it is. My name's Kelly. Has there been a man, justice of the peace, looking for me?
No.
That's funny. Decidedly inconvenient, too.
Well, are you sure you're in the right place?
Well, this is the Red Rock Tavern, isn't it?
Yes.
No, this
well,
is
if the man
the
shows
Rock
up,
Red
I'll only need
Tavern.
one room. If you don't, I'll have to have two.
I'm sorry. We can't accommodate you, sir.
You can't?
Sears
No,
is
we
in the
haven't any
house.
vacancies.
Welcome, Sears.
Well,
One of our
that's
regulars here on the Scream
You mind
Stream.
if we hang around a bit until the justice shows up?
Why, no.
Thanks.
Well, what's the good news?
All bad, honey. The guy hasn't shown. It looks like we'll have to sleep standing. It's got me, a joint like this out in the middle of nowhere and doing more business than the Grand Central Railroad Station.
Yeah, it's pretty busy.
What do with these?
Oh, just leave them there.
Yes,
Oh, what a spot.
Yeah,
Is
Thomas.
this better than chasing petty thieves
Internet
through a
movie
department
card
store, I ask?
Yes, it sure is.
Oh, starting to answer your own questions, huh?
Now, don't stop me. Oh, I'm full of romance. Must be this tavern. The fireplace. I feel so poetic. I could make love to a snowman.
If that justice of the peace doesn't show up, the chances are you'll have to.
Whoa, okay, that's a little risque. Making love to a
You know,
snowman.
it is peaceful here and
Whew.
quiet. It's nice.
Raunchy.
I came from Harrison's room.
Oh, shit. That was gruesome. Throw them into the swamp.
What happened?
The cards didn't lie.
Come on, Jimmy.
Wait a minute, punk.
Another
You're not supposed to
prediction.
face him where it
My
doesn't belong.
odds just got even
You hug
better.
your fire. I'll see what this is all about.
I'm through. I can't breathe. Oh, it's getting dark. I'm afraid to die.
Get this man an EpiPen.
Look at those marks on his throat. That police dog must have done it. They're teeth marks, all right.
What's going on here?
Don't exactly know. Heard a terrible moan from Mr. Harrison's room. We'll take care of that killer.
Well,
Hot Frosty is on the way.
Where are you going? To get my gun. That dog will never attack anyone else.
So it was a dog attack?
I should have had that dog put out of the way a long time ago.
Wow.
He's a killer, part wolf.
Well then, yeah, maybe you should have.
Well, what do you think?
He hasn't showed up yet.
Who?
The justice of the peace.
No. I mean about the case.
I didn't come here to solve any murder mysteries. My object is marriage.
You better be careful of him.
Don't worry, I will.
He's got his piece and he's ready to come out blasting.
You know, it might not be a bad idea to phone the coroner.
Yes, surely.
I'll do it for you, Mrs. Jameson.
Oh, will you please?
Gladly.
Gladly.
Give me the coroner's office.
I knew this would happen.
Huh?
I warned Harrison.
I warned him.
How did you know the dog was going to attack him? I'll tell you something else. Everyone here is in the shadow of death.
Ooh.
The same thing that happened to Harrison might happen to you.
Is that a threat?
Or you. Or me.
Come on, sister, let us in on your secret.
I read it in the cards.
You mean you're a mind reader?
Oh, cut it out, honey. A mind reader reads minds.
You're letting yourself open for a wisecrack there, Jimmy.
Stop your clowning.
Got him.
This is a very serious situation. She reads it in the cards.
Personally, I think it's a lot of hooey.
Hoey. See?
And I'd suggest that you get over here as soon as possible. That's fine, thank you. Goodbye.
Has he been eating? No luck, huh? Oh! There we go.
I hope he killed that dog.
Whether he did or not, I think we'd all better turn in.
But what about the coroner?
Well, I'll wait up for him. You folks had better get to bed.
Say, Couldn't you put us up somewhere for the night?
Why, as soon as they take Mr. Harrison's body out, you could have his room.
Well, I don't think I could go for that.
I'll bunk with Bill. You and your husband can have my room.
Well,
Oh, don't tell him. Don't tell him.
we're not married yet.
Oh,
I have a
he
large
told him.
double bed, and if you don't mind, I'd be very glad to share it with you.
You can sleep with me. You've got yourself a bed partner, mister. Would you mind helping me upstairs with the bags? The large one
Everybody's
goes to
gonna
this
get nice
gentleman's
and
room,
cozy
and the other one
tonight.
goes to the ladies.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm retiring. Good night.
Good night.
Pleasant dreams.
Tiring.
Mean pleasant nightmares,
After
don't
20
you?
long years of service, I'm done with this tavern.
When you come back down, fix the fire for the night.
Yes, sir.
You'd better stay up. Maybe you'll be able to help the coroner.
Oh. I think I can take care of everything. If you're needed, I'll wake you up.
Good night.
Good night, darling.
Hi, dear.
Keeping
Well,
it
he got away
kosher.
from me, but we can set a trap for him in the morning.
That sounds like a very sensible idea. We've had enough excitement for one evening. Now let's go.
Has Wentworth shown up yet? No. Well, that's funny.
If the justice of the peace shows up, call me.
Oh, sure. Must have been something very important to detain him. Oh, no doubt about it.
Which room are the girls in?
That one.
All right, guy.
Did it scare you?
Will you please go to bed and stop playing?
Good night, dear. Oh.
Good night. Getting jealous, huh, guy?
I wonder if I'm making a mistake.
Well, he has a sense of humor.
Yeah,
hasn't he?
Killer Rabbit. There's definitely some
Yes, sort of.
Scooby-Doo vibes going
But
on.
even with that handicap, he's the most popular man in the department.
The department?
Yes, Jimmy's a detective. And if I must say so myself, a mighty good one.
Too bad about Harrison. Did you know him? Well, slightly. How long have you been down here? Came down this afternoon. On a vacation? Yeah.
Is he
Yeah,
working on
that.
a case
Sure.
here? Yes, if you can consider me a case.
You see,
Yeah, Joe.
he wants to
You
turn
always
me over
got to
to
get
the
some
justice of the
good
peace.
clue jokes in
sort of a
here
light
when we're
sentence.
watching these kinds of movies.
And believe me, it's one jolt a girl can't be freed from on account of good behavior. No, of course not. Will you excuse me? I'll be back in a minute.
Yes, Sears. She's
Well, I
been
guess I'll
in
turn
a
in.
couple Poverty Row horror
Hey, wait a
movies
minute.
you may have seen.
Twin beds in there in my room. Why don't you bunk in there with me? Well, that's not a bad idea. Thanks, I will.
What are you, chicken?
I thought you were going to bed.
I was. You'll excuse us, won't you?
Uh-oh, she's got some special intel. Not for your ears, guy. Oh, pillow fight. Look out. Everybody look out. Sears loves his pillow fights, too.
Now, what's wrong?
You know the boy who's sharing Bill's room?
Yes?
He's a detective.
No.
The girl told me. I'm sure we're not responsible for their being here. But I thought I ought to warn you. It's better to be on the safe side. It's Hughes.
What's that? Let's find out.
God, we got another body?
Wait a minute.
Be racking up
Margie,
a
let's find out
decent
what all
body
this yelling's
count.
about.
Two is a good number for these old Dark House movies. It's acceptable.
He's dead. Killed just like Harrison.
Turn on the lights.
Turn on the lights.
It's Hughes.
Me, I'm right here. No, you. Yes, I'm right here. We're not doing an Abbott and Costello bit, damn it. That's a good one, Killer Rabbit.
It's a pity he didn't get that dog. This is getting on my nerves. We better lock all the windows so that animal can't get back in here.
I'll lock this one if you fellas take care of the rest of them on the ground floor.
Okay.
Yeah, what is this dog just jumping through windows like that? I mean, what? Are we on the second floor? How is this possible?
We're all doomed. I consented.
Nobody's
Pull yourself
questioning
together.
this.
Take care of her, will you please? This place is spooky. Shut up.
Got
Is it bad
him.
enough to have the tavern turned into a madhouse without you wailing all the time?
Wailing, more like blubbering.
Take a look at the windows, will you?
Well, wailing, blubbering, what's the difference, right?
Sure.
You're gonna have to blubber after you wail. Oh, a clue. What is that? A joint? Who dropped this? Yeah, Sears, I do always love these, like, seeing the decor of these old houses, even though I know it's just a set. It's still, I always like that. Cover them up. Inuit humor, yeah, Romarts, that's good.
How far does the coroner live from here?
Why, about 10 miles.
They should have been here by now.
Maybe I'd better call him
Dark
again.
and stormy night.
Supposing I call him this time.
Oh, getting suspicious, eh? Yeah, shut the windows, jeez.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Abtron for sure. It's the whole house. I mean, come on. You think that ridiculous caretaker is actually dusting anything?
Now what's wrong?
That's what I'm going to try and find out.
Nice. He's on the job. Oh, another clue. What is that? Oh, a broken vine. Methinks a clue I have found.
Well, that's a clever dog. After he kills his victims, he cuts the telephone wires.
What?
Oh, that was a telephone wire.
You're telling me?
How do you figure it out?
Well, I haven't yet.
Of course, you're the logical man to solve this mystery.
Now, what do you mean by that, Crack?
Being a detective, you're naturally more familiar with murders.
Yeah, dude.
That is, if these were murders.
Oh, are you a policeman?
Well, I am an officer, but I'm traveling incognito.
Oh, you just
thought
blew
you
it.
came in a bus. Shut up.
Say, how did you know I was a cop?
Your feet gave you away.
Got him.
You're not doing so bad yourself there, partner.
What does that mean? What are they talking about? I actually want to know if anybody knows what that exchange just meant. That was I mean, I assumed this had to do something with him being a flat-footed cop, but it's like they were talking about each other's shoes. Oh, nice. Oh, look at that dog smiling. You know that dog is having the time of its life.
What happened, honey?
The dog. He's trying to get into my room.
Oh, are you sure?
What do you mean, am I sure?
What do you
think I could get in this nervous condition all by myself?
I can't understand it.
I was practicing to be a dutiful wife.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Darling, will you please hush up? Come on.
Weird. I read about that happening.
All right? Yes.
What do you mean, yes? Look at me, I'm shaking like a leaf. Say, you seem sorry I wasn't bitten to death.
Margie, will you please hush? Come on.
What do you mean, come on?
I want to talk to you.
But that dog in there kicked...
Don't worry, nothing's going to hurt you.
Oh, it was nice knowing you, gentlemen.
What do you think? Do I have to tell?
And that is gonna take us to our first break. Well, we are a third of the way through the Rogues Tavern, and so far, I think we got a pretty solid mystery on our hands. To quote Fred, Rogers, is that Fred's last name? Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued. I want to know, like, what the deal is with, you know, the, like, what's, like, why is this guy, you know, the guy in the wheelchair, obviously, like, well, you've seen enough of these movies like we have, and I'm including, you know, obviously the Scream streamers, but I know that our double drive-in folks know when you've seen enough of these movies, they want you to rule out the guy in the wheelchair, but we know you don't always rule out the guy in the wheelchair. So in terms of suspects, that's kind of where I'm falling right now. I'd be interested to know if you guys have any prime suspects yet. But so far, they're leaving it pretty mysterious, which means plenty of room for us to speculate. So, you know, and it's always like we talked about with these old Poverty Row movies. You never know quite, like, quality-wise what you're gonna get. But I'd say this has really been, like, for a Poverty Row production, and a Sam Katzman production for that matter, pretty solid in terms of the, I mean, even the acting, but the camera work definitely, and the editing. I mean, it's pretty snappy. I think the problem that we've seen with some of these movies is they get really static really fast. And we kind of ran into a little bit of staticness with everybody just standing around, 10 people standing around a drawing room. It's like, all right, like, you're all just standing there waiting for something to happen. But outside that, you know, again, that shot of the dog, I mean, I know it was kind of just a cheesy little, it wasn't like a special effect or anything. It was just the dog showing his teeth. But even that, I love stuff like that. So, yeah, no, and yeah, cheers to everyone. I unfortunately was not able to grab a drink before we started, but we're about to go into our break. So this will be time if you need to re-up on a drink, anything like that. We split the movie up into threes, and then we have 2 breaks. And so, you know, we'll talk for a little bit, and then we'll show 2 trailers, and then we'll come back and we'll get into the second part of the movie. So we'll have some trailers coming up for you here. But I mean, again, you know, start thinking about who your suspects are. Start getting your lists together. It was blank in the blank with the blank, you know. I don't know. We'll start hedging some bets. That's illegal, right? This counts as some kind of sports, right? sure, why not? If you haven't seen the movie before, no spoilers. Yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying this. Like I said, the acting isn't too bad sometimes. Spy, yeah. Maybe it was a puppet. Yeah, maybe that's true. I didn't have my eyes peeled enough. So maybe I'll have to be on the lookout if we see the dog again. I'll have to look out for the puppeteer's hand. Yeah, it's which interesting. But yeah, like I said, the acting hasn't been too bad here. You can be pretty hit or miss with these Poverty Row actors and actresses, you know, because again, I mean, like our star is kind of like case in point, Wallace Ford. And a lot of these actors are the kind of people who you will get like a very bit, probably uncredited, if you're lucky, a supporting part in a major studio production. But you go down to Poverty Row and you could get star billing. Or if you're an uncredited bit player, you'll get like some lines. So that's always like the kind of like the two worlds that existed in Hollywood at this time. Because, you know, obviously these Poverty Row studios were your indies. You know, these were your independent studios. So you had a lot of actors that kind of could move. I mean, Lugosi was a great example. You know, with his Sam Katzman 9 Monogram movies, Lugosi is the star of all of those movies. Whereas his work at Universal at the time, he's at the bottom of the bill. Or he's at the top of the bill and he's playing a butler and he's just a red herring, which is the most annoying thing in the world. Which, if you're a fan of this show, you know that my Lugosi red herring, tolerance is only so much. But, you know, Lugosi is a perfect example of that. And the leads here, very much the same way. That lead actress here playing Lucy, the love interest of Wallace Ford's character, she's played by an actress named Barbara Pepper, who obviously you won't recognize here, but you know, she did a lot of uncredited bit roles. Kind of seemed to have some skills as a comedian, and she was friends with Lucille Ball. Was actually the second choice to play Ethel in I Love Lucy, but apparently she may have had a drinking problem, and the actor who played Fred already had a drinking problem. And apparently the producer said, well, we can't have two of the actors with a drinking problem, so she got passed up for that. But she's more recognizable to sitcom audiences, classic sitcom audiences, as Mrs. Ziffel from Green Acres, which if you're a Green Acres fan, you'll know the pig, Arnold Ziffel. Well, she was the first Mrs. Ziffel. Apparently there were two. I didn't watch I've probably seen like 20-ish episodes of Green Acres. Back in the day, reruns were on, you watch it. So I'm sure I saw her on there, but she was okay. Yeah. Linda Carrot, Jill Cabbage, that's very good. Yeah, I mean, it's Barbara Pepper. You know, that's a perfect name for an actress. She's, Spicy Pepper. You know, that's Linda Carrot, Jill Cabbage. That's very good, Aptron. Yeah, I mean, so she didn't really get a chance to play the lead too often, so tonight's film provides her an opportunity to do that. And then, of course, the lead actor, Jimmy, is being played by Wallace Ford, who, as it was brought up earlier, that, of course, classic monster fans will recognize him most prominently from the two Mummy films that he did, The Mummy's Hand and The Mummy's Tomb. Yeah, The Mummy's Tomb. I always get those confused. And so that's one of the trailers we're going to see during our break is for The Mummy's Hand, which it's a pretty good, if you haven't seen The Mummy's Hand, pretty good movie. Not, it kind of like rebooted the series. There had been like 8 years since the first Mummy movie with Karloff, so they're like, well, let's just change it up and do something completely different. So that's what they did. And Wallace Ford is kind of more comic relief. His character of Babe is kind of more of the funny. They're kind of like a comedy team, but kind of not. But he's definitely the funny guy in that. Then he returns in the Mummy's Tomb, and it's kind of cool. But the movie itself, it's like the idea was really strong, but the results leave a lot to be desired because it takes place 20 years after the Mummy's Hand. So it's like cool that they're like, and it was only made the year after. So it's cool that they're doing a time jump. They're having to put old aged makeup on Wallace Ford, but they didn't, there's a lot with that movie, a lot of questions I have. Some people really like it, but 20 minutes of the movie is made up of flashback footage from the Mummy movie before it. So I'm a real stickler about my Universal horror movies. Don't get me started. But the other big classic horror role that you may know or may not know Wallace Ford from is, of course, Freaks. He played the, for lack of a better word, normal lead in Freaks, but obviously you probably don't even remember him that much because he's not the interesting part of the movie, even though he's kind of cast as the kind of the male love interest, and then he's the clown, and then I believe that the girl he falls in love with, I know she was with the strong man, and then the strong man is in cahoots with that. It's a whole thing. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely see Freaks. It's a classic. That's the first trailer we're going to see during the break, but that's the two trailers is Freaks and the Mummy's Hand, and you won't see any Wallace Ford in the Freaks trailer because again, he's kind of the least memorable part of that movie. He's not, I don't think he's sitting around the table singing Gooble Gobble with the rest of them. But, he's still, he's good in that movie. Again, he's a lot of his characters, he kind of plays into the comic relief, kind of the flippant, and he's good at it. He's really a solid actor. Harvey is a non-horror role. He pops up in that as a cab driver, I think, towards the end. He's pretty good. But yeah, and we have seen him before. I don't know if I've mentioned that we've, on this show, one of our first season episodes, The Ape Man, with Bela Lugosi. Wallace Ford plays a newspaper reporter in that. So, anything with Lugosi here, public domain especially, we're big fans of that. So that's another big Wallace Ford movie. I've got an interesting story about how Wallace Ford got his stage name, which I'll share with you guys after the break. And then after that, we'll get into the exciting middle of, I almost said, a title of a movie that we haven't watched in forever. That's where my mind. So we're going to get into the exciting middle of the Rogues Tavern. So stick around. We'll be right back.
They're going to make you one of them, my peacock.
He's alive. Let me go. Let me go.
Do you mind if I say I think you're a swell person?
Hmm?
You're very beautiful. So beautiful, I'm going to make you immortal.
Hey, where's the girl?
Well, you'll never see her again.
I'll give you 3 to tell me where she is. I'm not kidding.
If you were to kill me, you're leaving at large a monster that only I can control.
And we are back. So that was the trailers for Freaks and The Mummy's Hand. Both, I guess Mummy's Hand is a movie I saw like pretty young. Freaks, I think it took a while for me to see Freaks. But you know, Mummy's Hand is a very accessible movie for a younger horror fan, just because again, Wallace Ford is like this very funny guy, and they don't have like an Abbott and Costello. It's almost like a Martin and Lewis kind of a thing, you know, because Dick Foran plays I'm just the clean-cut archaeologist, and I really believe in what we're doing, and then Wallace Ford is just like, hey, poopsie, and you know, it's silly, fun, 40s fun, and you know, Wallace Ford was good at projecting that like carefree image, which is crazy because I found out today he had a horrible childhood, life growing up. He was born in England and raised in an orphanage, and then the orphanage shipped him overseas to Canada, and he got adopted by a farm family that basically forced him to do manual labor. So he ran away, joined like a little vaudevillian like acting troupe of like young people, and then hoboed his way to the United States. And he was actually born Samuel Jones. I thought it was I think Samuel Jones. He had a different name, and he actually took the stage name from a person that he traveled with when he was hoboing the rails to come to the United States. And it was a friend of his who was crushed. I don't know if he saw it or what, but a friend that was crushed by a train car. His friend named Wallace Ford. So then he took that as his stage name when he went on to vaudeville. You know, in New York. He was in New York, and I think ended up on Broadway, and then, you know, movies in the early 30s. So, you know, pretty interesting career, you know, pretty interesting life. You know, you're always surprised when you find out about the backstory of certain actors or actresses, like where they came from, what their upbringing was. If it's someone that came from like absolutely nothing, and then like the stars especially that built themselves up from nothing. So those are always fascinating stories. But yeah, I mean, we're enjoying the Rogues Tavern so far. All that to say, it's been pretty good. We've got this murderous wolf dog on the loose. Maybe. We don't really know 100%. But everybody's going to bed. So you know that crazy shenanigans are bound to happen when everybody's just put their head to the pillow. That's when the dog's going to start barking again. Something crazy's going to happen. So, yeah. Wayne, it's funny that you brought that up, because Yeah, the writer of tonight's film. Is that what you're... Hold on, I got a little lost in the chat here. Let's see. Yeah. It's funny because the writer of tonight's film, Al Martin, actually wrote the script for Invasion of the Saucermen. So I don't know if that's what you were talking about, Wayne, but that was a fact that I had to drop that I hadn't dropped yet. Same writer, Al Martin, wrote tonight's film. He wrote Invasion of the Saucermen, and then, of course, Invasion of the Saucermen was adapted as Creature of Destruction. So they used Al Martin's previous script, which that movie directed by Larry Buchanan, who we talked about last week when we watched Keep My Grave Open. See, we could play the degrees game all night. Every movie that we've watched, it's kind of nuts. Yeah, so it's that's a thing I meant to mention earlier, is that the writer wrote those films. Also, Invisible Ghost, one of the Lugosi Monogram 9 that was produced by Sam Katzman. So this writer, Invisible Ghost is not like a great story. But I'd say story-wise, this has been pretty good so far. You got enough characters to keep me interested. You got a murderer on the loose. So I am interested. I think it's pretty cool. Eye Creatures. I said Creature Destruction. You're right, Scott Miller. Eye Creatures. Thank you. I always little slips there time and again. I'll say the wrong thing. So you gotta keep me honest. But yeah, so that's like, some decent writing pedigree. And he also wrote a film from the same year that has the same director, producer, some of the same cast, A Face in the Fog, which we'll watch later on, eventually. But it's I've seen that one before, and that's a pretty good little mystery, at least the first bit that I saw. So they had already had one murder mystery under their belt before they did tonight's film. And the director of tonight's film, this is the other big fact I'm going to drop on you before we get into the middle, is that the director of tonight's film, Robert F. Hill, also wrote the adaptation for the 1927 film version of The Cat and the Canary, which we watched earlier this season. Our Scream streamers will tell you they really enjoyed Cat and the Canary and the silent version. If you've seen it, you'll know it's a really atmospheric and expressive and expressionistic movie. And we really, really loved The Cat and the Canary, but Robert F. Hill adapted it. So that was kind of a surprise. So the director of tonight's film has some knowledge of a really revered old dark house, kind of the workings. He knows what he's supposed to do here. That's one that's held up. So I'm interested to see if he pulls out any stops in the back half. Because that's a really solid movie. And it's maybe more so because of the directing from Paul Linney than the story by Robert F. Hill, or the adaptation. But still, I think I think we'll see. May do some interesting things here in the back half. And the director also did a bunch of serials: Flash Gordon's Trip to Mars, the Lugosi serial Shadow of Chinatown. So, and he was also an actor and appeared in bit parts in Invisible Ghost and Son of Dracula. So the director also has a little bit of a resume here. But that's pretty much, and all you gotta know is we got 2 bodies on our hands. The coroner has not arrived. The justice of the peace has not arrived. Everybody's catching Z's or getting ready to catch Z's. And so the murder, methinks the murder is about to be afoot again. So I think without further ado, we will go ahead and get into the exciting middle of the Rogues Tavern right now.
You know, that girl's troubled with hallucinations.
I don't think I'll wait any longer. Will you please make arrangements to have me driven back to town?
I'm sorry. We're having a car on the place. You'll have to wait for the morning bus.
Well, I don't believe there's a chance of any of us getting much sleep tonight. Suppose I make some coffee.
That's a grand idea, Mrs. Jameson.
Grand.
And I second the motion.
All right. Well, what makes you so sure that the dog I saw wasn't the one that killed those two men?
They were not killed by a dog.
Come on, break down. I hate mysteries. Why, I don't even eat hash.
Listen, you better sit down again.
I just
Hash, ain't that a mystery?
You
Where's
might as
that
well
from?
sit down
That's
because
from
what I'm going to
something.
tell you is going to knock you down.
Hash,
anyway,
ain't that a
so
mystery?
Just as well relax.
It's Abbott Costello or Three Stooges or something. Yeah, it's
See
Three
that?
Stooges. It's Curly, I think.
Don't tell me you joined the elf.
Hash, ain't that a mystery?
That's a dog's tooth. I found it in Hughes's room after he was killed. And get this, that's not the tooth of any live animal. There's no flesh around the end, and the enamel's worn off.
What in the world are you driving at?
The person that killed those two men used a set of false dog teeth.
Whoa, oh, that's what that
This
was.
is thrilling.
Okay.
Boy, can I use this.
So instead of vampire fangs, they accidentally, the Amazon sent them dog fangs. So, but it works. It actually worked out.
Harrison always liked coffee.
Oh, come on, Gloria. Snap out of it.
I wish I could.
You have nothing to worry about. All the windows are locked.
That's not going to do any good. It's closer than that. I can feel destruction.
Yeah, Robarts.
Well, drink your coffee, my dear. I'm sure it will make you feel better.
Now remember what I told you. The first thing we've got to do is to find a motive.
Well, I don't think it's up here.
Oh, you're impossible. Come on, 5 and 10 cent store detective.
This is
Wow.
certainly grand coffee, Mrs.
We
Jameson.
call her out.
Thank you.
How do you feel now?
All right.
Well, you're just in time. I hope you don't mind my inviting strangers to your party, Mrs. Jameson.
Why, not at
Whoa,
all.
bro.
Bert,
Who said you had a
cups.
+1?
Yes. Well, I see you pulled yourself together.
Yes.
yes, I was a little upset myself.
And how do you feel? Oh, never mind. I have a rough idea how you feel.
You can joke if you want to. But before this night is over, you'll wish you never came here.
Say, what do you think I'm having, a picnic?
Oh, thank you, Bert.
That must be Wentworth.
Maybe it's the justice of the peace.
If he was just a little bit taller, those antlers would be right behind his head. That's one of my favorite shots in movies, is when somebody takes advantage of the animal on the wall and puts somebody right in front of the horns. So close.
Oh, thank heaven you're here.
We thought maybe you had an accident or something.
Glad to see you, Wentworth. Sorry if I'm late, Mason, but I left just as soon as I got your wire. You received a message from me? Why, yes. There's something
You're not
queer
supposed
going
to
on
be
around
here.
here. We all received wires to meet you here.
That's right.
And they were signed Wentworth.
Oh, he's Mr. Body.
It's a trick. Well, where's Harrison and Hughes?
Whitworth
They're
is
dead.
really close to Wadsworth, so I guess he's more like the Wadsworth.
I knew this would happen.
What happened?
Oh, chili on the floor. Oh, chili.
Here I am. Get all of my hand. What's going on here? Must be a fuse burned out.
I hope you're right.
That's okay. I'm sure that's not the worst thing on the floor right now.
Oh, now what?
There's nothing to worry about. Much.
I love how that dog is not.
Oh, now don't tell me that's a canary.
You stay right here.
Jimmy! Jimmy!
4 kinds of beans? That can't be. That's too good to be true.
Hello, boy. You want to get in where it's warm? Yes, but you're only helping me find out who's blaming you for these killings. Huh?
Yeah, yeah, this killer dog.
If I can find a piece of rope.
That dog, that is just such a fun, happy dog.
Oh.
Yeah, thankfully not, hopefully it shouldn't be like last week where the fun, happy dog didn't last very long, unfortunately. So that was a bummer. Yeah, Lana, I'm sorry. We should have given your cat a warning. Put her earmuffs on. Dogs are gonna be barking
Jimmy!
tonight.
Oh, Jimmy, if this is a gag, I'll break your neck.
Some gag, Jimmy.
Who is she?
Creepily watching her walk. Oh yeah, they don't even know who she is. I forgot it's just a bunch of random strangers here in the tavern. Usually in these old Dark House movies, it's a family or everybody kind of knows each other. Oh, the killer in action.
It's little Jimmy Kelly and
Who was it that said puppet earlier? Somebody called puppet
I could
earlier.
break your neck. Oh, I'm so glad to see you.
Say, how did you manage to get hold of him?
I found him out there by that shed. He's a wild baby, all right, but I don't think he'll cause us any more trouble now.
I'll say he won't.
Are you sure this is the dog we want?
Positively. I saw him in Harrison's room. You killer. This is the animal that killed Harrison and Hughes. Have you got a gun?
No.
Well, Hughes had one.
Somebody needs to pull the gun on you, my guy.
Why not? He's dead. Well, that is news.
Good news. Good news, everyone.
He sure wants to get rid of this dog. But I can't understand why Jameson said he was part wolf.
I think I got the motive.
What is it?
Jameson is a liar, maybe.
Revenge of what and by whom?
Well, I didn't get that far, but...
What?
Huh?
What the fuck?
What are you hawing me for?
Well, didn't you say something?
No.
Oh, I must have been hearing things.
You're beginning to get warnings, just like I did.
Oh, they must have paid their light bill.
You know, there's something that I'm going to train you to do after we get married.
What's that?
Keep quiet.
Do I have my yikes button on standby? I do. There it is. Wow, I haven't used the yikes button in a minute.
Something's happened to Mason. Here.
I love how that guy had the biggest reaction and dropped and broke something.
He's dead, all right. And killed the same way as the others.
That's impossible. The dog was in there, muzzled.
And it wasn't the dog.
How could it be?
You're right. These men were killed by a human who in some way used dog's teeth in order to throw the suspicion off of himself. I've known this for an hour. I suspected
known
Mason
this for
as being
an
the
hour.
guilty person.
You guys are all
I tried to
stupid.
trap him. I'll have to ask you all to line up in the next room.
What right have you to tell us what to do?
He's a detective or something.
Stepping
Come on,
up.
line up in the next room.
And who are you?
I'm
A
something
detective.
too.
You heard her. Now, I'll have to take charge. We all know this animal didn't kill anybody. Let him loose.
Well, this is terrible. I don't know what to do. Why, we may all be killed. Probably the killer's in this room right now.
Where's the nearest telephone around here?
The gas station about
Man
2
is
miles
using
down the
dog
road.
teeth.
I want you to phone as quickly as you can. and
It's
have
the oldest
police come
trick in the
here.
book.
Yes, sir.
Hey, and bring the coroner along, too.
All right, folks. Line up. Let's do this thing systematically.
What's the idea?
If
Systematic.
anybody's got any guns on them around here, I want to know where they are. You frisk the ladies.
Right.
But there hasn't been any gunplay? No, there isn't going to be any. All right, fellas.
Don't you think it was a bad idea to send that man for the police?
I'll ask all the questions, my friend.
Come on, Pollyanna. And I hope you're not ticklish. Please, Mrs. Jameson.
Oh, he's definitely got a gun. You know he's sitting on a piece. Look at him. Trying to hide it. We
Come
know
on,
what you're hiding in
Pollyanna.
that chair.
My, you should reduce.
I think he's faking it.
I'm sorry.
Throws him out of the chair.
I don't suppose you could get out of that chair.
I could if you would help me.
Surely. All right.
Fall, make it look good. Those are actually
You
have little
understand.
bullets in them.
Certainly. I'm as anxious to have this murderer caught as you are. Maybe more so. I wouldn't have a chance to fight for my life.
There, Mr. Jameson, don't excite yourself. Now that we've exposed the killer's methods, maybe he won't strike again.
Let us hope not.
Yeah, Romar.
Where do you keep your guest register?
I'm the
I'm
hotel
definitely
desk.
getting a strange
Well,
love.
that's kind of
vibe.
natural. How am I doing, babe? Harrison's from Philadelphia, Hughes from Portland, Mason from Chicago, and Gloria Roloff from Mexico City.
Why did you tell me there was a copper here?
We didn't know it ourselves till a few
Those
minutes
sign-in
before you
books are so
arrived.
public. Everybody can see where you're coming. I mean,
It's all
everybody's
clear to
got to
me
be
now.
lying.
He's the one
Mr.
that
and
set us
Mrs.
those wires.
Smith, right?
That's possible. But it still doesn't account for the murders.
They're from all parts of the country.
Well, maybe it's a convention.
Come here, you three.
I'm holding all of yous.
Sit down. I want to ask you people a few questions.
Well, what's on your mind?
Tell me, how did it happen that 6 people, you and the 3 men that were murdered, got here at practically the same time?
Well, it might have been a coincidence.
That's right, but it wasn't. This isn't the tourist season. Matter of fact, there hasn't been a guest in this tavern for 2 weeks.
Now, just a minute. Are you trying to solve this mystery?
or pin something on us? Both. I have a hunch that you and your party came here with one definite purpose. If you wouldn't mind telling me who suggested this place to you, we might be able to clear this whole situation up.
Well, I got a message from Harrison and this gentleman here.
I thought you only knew Harrison slightly. That's my business.
Yes,
Maybe
Scott,
so.
every entry is
It might
Smith.
interest you to
Is
know
that a... I've
that
seen
whoever
that
got you
somewhere.
here
I don't know if that's
got
a
you here
Rocky
with one
Bullwinkle
idea
joke.
in
I've
mind.
seen that somewhere.
And what was that?
To kill you all.
I knew it. I knew it.
So, you see, gentlemen, the only way for you to help yourselves is to come clean.
We'll do anything we can to help you.
Why, certainly. Of course we will. Now, gentlemen, that we understand each other, is there anyone you know who
Is
would
he,
want
like,
to put you out of the way?
grabbing his
that is,
pockets or
individually,
his
or shall we
jacket?
say
Like,
as a
what is he
gang?
holding right now? He don't have
No.
suspenders on.
Take a look through the luggage, kid. Maybe you can find a clue. Mrs. Jameson,
Yes?
would you mind going with her, please?
Why, certainly not. Let's go.
Uh-oh.
I'm not much on this detective business, but if it's true that somebody planned to get these people here to kill them, then there are only 3 people who can be considered suspects. And those are myself, my wife, and Bert.
Surely you have servants around this place.
Yes, we have 2 maids, but they left shortly after dinner.
How do you know they didn't come back? Just a minute. What was your idea?
Oh, he could have done it. He could have even cut the telephone wires.
He could have done
But I didn't.
Mr. Jameson
Maybe
didn't say
he
that
did.
you did.
Maybe
he
you
said
did
that
it.
you could have.
But how do we know that Hughes wasn't killed until after this man went into his room?
Well, I could have done it too.
I was just getting around to that.
Is that a
Perhaps it's in
confession?
the closet. Yep. We'll soon find out if that gal brought any of her secrets with her.
Oh, I'm tired of all this. I'm leaving.
Oh, you're not. One of Mr. Jameson's 3 guesses might be right.
But I can clear myself easily enough. The bus driver can verify
You're
that
staying just the same.
Yeah, he's gotten more and more suspicious.
You could
Mo.
be the guy that's doing the dirty work. I've heard of phony detectives before.
Wait a minute. Now, let's try and get to the bottom of this. Would you folks mind telling me what racket you're in?
Yeah, Abtron, they actually killed a guy and then said, all right, action.
Chances are all we'll find is a deck of cards.
This is one time it won't do you any good not to talk.
Shoot. Bro, you better be ready to put up a fight.
Why you?
Why you? Why I oughta.
Come on, let's get out of here.
That's the move.
It's locked.
We got to
Get out over
split.
the window.
Let's hurry.
Yeah, that was a smack. You guys are a slap happy crew, aren't you? You drive-in, double drive-in people. Slap happy crew. I love it.
Well, we can't get out here.
There are no bars on the windows in Harrison's room.
Where is it?
Follow me.
All right, he's getting it. Oh, I gotta stop. All right, this is turning into a Three Stooges bit. This is getting a little ridiculous.
We're doomed. To the window. There is a trap to kill us all. Wait a minute.
It's a
Maybe
trap.
the detective can help us.
He said it. It's a trap. The smacks and the lamps. That's good to know,
Oh,
Spy.
I owe you some.
I love that.
Wait a minute, buddy. Now,
Oh!
hold it. Now, just a minute. We made a mistake. We shouldn't have done it. But your life is just as much danger as ours.
Listen to me, will you? The door's bolted, all the windows are barred. We're gonna die, all of us.
You gotta help us. Somebody's gotta help us.
Come on, buddy.
I don't see what I can do.
Oh, we've made enemies. Lots of them. We've been smuggling jewels across the border.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I see.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. That kicks the stakes up a
Wait a
notch.
minute.
Clams and beer, the classic combination here on the Scream Stream.
Here's one as big as a hen's egg.
Boy, I'd like to be able to find the hen that could lay that egg.
Shellfish and alcohol. Yeah, Scott. I would definitely, if Shimp was cutting hair,
Can't you think of
he
some
would be my
person or
stylist.
persons that would want to get you out of the way? How about
Give
that
me
guy
the,
that
yeah, I'll have the
accidentally
Shimp,
fell off the truck about a year
please.
ago? You know,
I kind of
blamed
do
us.
have a little
Oh, no, we took care of him.
Shimp thing going on.
Mrs. Jameson, I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes, what is it?
Did you build this place?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you ask?
Well, from what these people tell me, it was constructed for just such a situation as this.
Why, I don't understand.
Every window in this place is barred.
I can't believe that.
What are you talking about, Scott? There's boobs
Jimmy.
everywhere.
What is it?
They just have clothes on.
Come here a minute, will you?
I'll show you.
Jimmy!
Huh?
I want to talk to you.
Thank you, Spy.
What is
Yeah,
it?
I mean, hey, you guys are awesome. It is a blast watching movies with
terrific.
the crowd from the Double Drive-In. Y'all are
I'll
killing
still show
it.
you.
Y'all are amazing.
There you are.
Why? I can't understand it.
What? Yeah, James, that's been our experience before, is sometimes it's the goofiest motherfucker that can't solve a puzzle for 12 chapters of the serial. Then he turns out to be the mastermind. Spoiler alert, but I didn't tell you, so it's okay. Didn't tell you the title, but yeah. You know how it goes.
I've got to see you.
Oh, please don't bother me. Can't you see I'm in enough trouble? From whom did you buy this place?
Why, we rent it from a Mr. Morgan. He's the owner.
Well, we didn't buy.
Oh, please, hush. What kind of a man
Buying
is this
in this
Morgan?
economy?
Very odd. He wears large spectacles. He's an inventor, a scientist.
When did you see him last?
Well, that's strange, but we haven't seen him since the day we took the place. Neither he nor a representative have called to collect the rent.
Would you know where to reach him?
No, he said he'd get in touch with us.
Got another clue?
Yes.
Well, keep it.
And that is gonna take us to our second break. Well, we're 2/3 of the way through the Rogues Tavern, and so far we've had some interesting developments in this second third. I mean, the revelation that all these people here are part of some diamond smuggling scheme. I mean, that's good to know. I mean, it was kind of like in my head, all right, why are just all these random people here? They're just sitting around. It's just, you know, is there any... I wasn't really expecting there to be anything else to that. So I'm very glad that that actually panned out. And there's a reason that all these people are being knocked off one by one. So far, yeah. And I mean, you know, ruled out the dog thing pretty early. It's just a little disappointing. We all love a movie about a killer wolf dog. Unfortunately, that's not what we're getting tonight. But that's okay. I mean, again, we knew we were getting a good old-fashioned murder mystery, and we're having a great time. And yeah, I think that anytime that your leading couple are two detectives, it's gonna be pretty like easy to kind of parse your way through all the clues and the material and solve the case. So I'm sure they're gonna wrap it up very cleanly in the third act, but they've been building the mystery still. I mean, we still don't know quite why, obviously it seems like the old man and his wife it seems like them, right? Like, it may be a little too on the nose, but that's where it's leading to. They haven't given it away yet, so we may find out that there's a twist, but my bet is going to be the old man and his wife, so I don't know. I'm interested to know what you guys think. No, they are Body Ba. They are no Nick and Nora Charles. I was gonna show a trailer for the Thin Man, but I ultimately decided to kind of rejig what I was gonna focus on. But yeah, I mean, anytime you're talking about murder mysteries, obviously one of the big iconic Hollywood mysteries from this time is the Thin Man. But no, you can't. They can't all be Nick and Nora Charles, can they? They can't all be delightfully alcoholic and endlessly wealthy. I mean, it's just, the 30s were a hell of a time. But we're about to approach our own 30s, so I can't. Hey, maybe we'll all be drinking all the time and solving mysteries soon enough. We can only hope. But yeah, I mean, again, the funny thing about tonight's movie is that it's for a mystery that's got, some decent talent behind it. It is still an early film from Sam Katzman, the producer, who you've probably seen more Sam Katzman movies than you realize, because the man produced over 200 movies. This is like one of his first, in the first 10, 20 movies he made. So he gained a reputation for being able to make a movie so fast and so cheap that he had his own studios, but for the most part, he developed a reputation as somebody that you could, for studios, that you could hire to independently produce his own productions, and he would deliver on time and under budget. And obviously, the Monogram movies that he did with Lugosi, we've talked in the past about how those were shot in 6-7 days and have budgets of $20,000. So Katzman, if he could get a star name, or if he had a subject matter that was exploitable in some way, he could get a script written and the cast together and get a movie shot in a week. So, Katzman's a really interesting character, and like I said, 200 movies. I mean, he was working until the late 60s, and he worked his way up from being a prop boy at the age of 13 on movie sets to producing his own movies. I don't think he ever directed, but he produced hundreds of movies. And it's funny because when you think about Hollywood in the big studios, you don't think about independent producers. You don't really think about indies until Roger Corman comes along and kind of the American international system of hiring these indie producers, directors. Well, studios kind of engaged in that. And Katzman, was that guy that later in his career, studios were hiring to produce dozens and dozens of movies. He worked for Columbia for many years and made a whole bunch of movies at Columbia. He went to 20th Century Fox, made a bunch of movies there, was at MGM for a little bit. He did all kinds of genres, a lot of action movies, obviously horror, science fiction, a lot of musicals, and later on, rock musicals, in not Rock Around the Clock, but I think he did some Bill Haley in the Comets movies, which if you didn't know that they had movies, Sam Katzman made some movies with Bill Haley in the Comets. So, I mean, he was always trying to hit on something relevant, something that was hip. And he, in kind of, you know, like, into that, got him to the point where he made a few Elvis movies, even. Kissin' Cousins, where Elvis plays twin cousins. Or wait, no, what twin cousins? He plays cousins, but they look alike. So it's both, they're both Elvis. So they look like twins, but they're not twins, they're cousins. So he did a couple of those. He did Roy Orbison's only movie, The Fastest Guitar Alive or The Fastest Guitar in the West. I don't think I've ever written down. But if you're a big Roy Orbison fan like I am, then, you know, you'll want to seek that curio out. But he did, you know, at the same time he was doing like the Roy Orbison movie, he was making hippie movies and drug movies. And, you know, so that was the thing. I mean, he was a guy, he was making mini movies at a time and usually trying to hit on some big trend. And so we're going to see some Sam Katzman trailers for the break. The first trailer is for, you know, I was like looking to see if he had any kind of similar movies to tonight's. He didn't really do too many other murder mysteries. The idea of a wolf-like murder, or literally a werewolf murder, he did explore in a mid-1950s film entitled The Werewolf, which kind of takes the mythology in a different direction. It goes in a scientific kind of explanation for how this person becomes a werewolf. It's okay. Again, you know, Katzman specialized in making cheap movies very fast. So that's what it is. But it's got an interesting makeup. The makeup's not bad. You've probably seen it. And the other trailer we're going to see is from one of his later movies that he produced when he was doing the Roy Orbison movie, Riot on Sunset Strip. And so, you know, you're getting all of the hip things, and they're talking about LSD and the, you know, the youth culture, and that's a lot of fun stuff there. So two fun trailers to just kind of show you the range that Sam Katzman had as a producer. I got a very interesting story about Katzman when we come back from our break. So from Hunts Hall, who some of you may know as a Bowery Boy, East Side Kid, etc., etc., etc. So we're going to enjoy these two Sam Katzman produced movie trailers, and then when we come back, we're going to get the exciting conclusion of the Rogues Tavern. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Only an animal could do that to a man's throat.
Jack, what are you trying to do? Scare us half to death? What are you holding back?
It wasn't an animal that killed Joe. Same goes for Clovey. It was a man.
So much could fail if he should remember and tell someone what he knows about us. There's nothing else left but to...
But you're not going to kill him.
You think he still wants to live after what he's become?
Duncan! Duncan, darling, this is Helen. These men have promised not to harm you. Chris!
He's asleep. Throw some torches up there.
It's causing a riot. It's causing a riot.
Blow away, you lousy cop! Don't you touch that kid!
Riot on Sunset Strip. Stars Aldo Ray, Mimsy Farmer, Michael Evans, Larry Mock, Tim Rooney in The Happening that blazed headlines across the nation.
Well, I tried everything.
Teenagers, wild, beat, protesting, with no direction, no goal, fighting only for the right to be heard.
Fine, to get along with you. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do.
And that's what these demonstrations are all about?
We want the police to change their attitude. We want enforcement based on law violation, not length of hair, manner of dress, or economic conditions.
Have you ever been to a blanket party?
Grass. Grass smokers. Their story is it shouldn't be unlawful.
Come on, get with it. Let's go to a freakout. Do you know what acid can do to an inexperienced young girl?
I want to know what happened.
5 boys have been here.
The most shocking film of our generation.
And we are back. So those are the trailers for The Werewolf. And oh my god, I just was looking at that. Why am I blanking on what I just saw? Riot on Sunset Strip, of course. Yeah, so 2 Sam Katzman produced trailers. And yeah, as you can see, a lot of range from the producer there. You know, Riot on Sunset Strip came at a time, obviously, of a lot of political unrest, as I'm sure many of you know, but it, you know, AIP was, you know, kind of at the forefront of making these movies that were kind of supposed to be about what was going on, but it was still square, and the studios were trying to copy what AIP was doing, and so it was even more square usually. But still, you know, I mean, they touch on some, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love those movies. They touch on some relevant things, but it's still, you know, watching a trailer like that, I always just kind of like laugh at certain parts. 'Cause right? But, you know, it's still kind of the whole reason why Katzman was probably such a prolific producer is because he's just like, okay, what's happening right now? What's in? In 1967, it was, you know, kind of the Cultural Revolution. In 1936, it was murder mysteries. So that's why he did this one and another one right before this. You know, again, you're just trying to capitalize on what's hot, and I think that's just what Katzman did. A great story from Hunt's Hall about Katzman is that apparently one day, and this is obviously Hunt's Hall telling the story, but apparently Katzman came in to on a set for something they were shooting that it was already running behind, and so Katzman goes to the director and he's like, how many pages have you shot today? And the director says 5. And Katzman's like, how many are you supposed to shoot? And the guy's like, 10. And so then Katzman grabs a script, rips 5 pages out of it, and it's like, you're done. You're caught up. You know, obviously that's very much a story, like a kind of like you'll find in the Poverty Road's horror book back here when you interview these actors later on. They've all got stories about how slapdash these Poverty Road pictures and just the production, but the producers, how it all was. And they're always, you know, you'll hear stories like that. But, hey, that's what I would do. Find me a scene or two that we don't need, and let's nix them, and let's get on schedule. I mean, makes sense. That's why he was a prolific producer again. So, like I said, this is an early effort from him, but so far, he's made an enjoyable movie. I think we are having a pretty good time with it. It's not, you know, it's, I'm still, like, the mystery's in the air. I still don't know who the killer is. I want to know. I'm curious. But like we said, we got our suspects, I think, pretty set in stone. But we'll find out. Again, maybe there's a twist. Who knows? We could only be so lucky, but we'll see. Oh, and Alana, I'm so sorry to hear that. That it, you know, like those fires in Los Angeles, it's really a horrible thing, and you know, I'm sure a lot of you, and if anybody's out there right now, I hope you're safe. But I know a lot of you, and I know myself, and we probably all know people that are out there right now. And so as you find ways to help, share that with people, and certainly, I mean, you know, again, you can say what you want about, you know, the celebrities, but there's still a lot of real, you know, working class average people that have had their lives destroyed. So you always want to find ways to help and give back. So it is we'll see. But if anybody has been affected, I hope you're safe and hope that you're getting through it. And yeah, it's, I mean, a lot of history in Los Angeles, obviously, and it's, you know, it's always a reminder of just how far away removed we are from these things. When we watch a movie from 1936, it's like, oh, well, you know, we're in an interior movie, but every once in a while when you get a movie where you're out in location in Los Angeles, it's like, oh, well, that's not there anymore. That's not there anymore. I think Indestructible Man, I don't think it's shot in Los Angeles, but wherever Indestructible Man was shot, I know that there's a lot of stuff, like they shot on a lot of like landmarks, like out in public, and I think it's some stuff that doesn't exist anymore. So that's always the interesting thing when you've got these old movies, is you're getting to view a little glimpse of history. So we're enjoying our little glimpse of history tonight, even though we're on an old dark house stage set. But we're having fun. We're enjoying it. And we're gonna figure out who's trying to pin this innocent dog for murder. Because what kind of sick freak would pin murders on a poor, defenseless, and really sweet dog, as we've seen? Whatever kind of monster that is, obviously deserves to pay. So we'll see. We'll see if our dog, our canine friend, gets the justice he deserves by the true murderer being brought to justice. So on that note, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of the Rogues Tavern right now.
Do you know a man by the name of Morgan? Morgan? Yes, I know several men by the name of Morgan. One of them was an inventor. We financed him. Would there be any reason for this man wanting to kill you? No.
That is...
Jimmy, I must see you.
Well, take a good look.
This is important.
What's the big idea?
I think Jameson is the man we want.
For what?
Listen, Jimmy.
Jameson.
I saw him get out of his chair and walk.
Oh, why didn't you tell me?
What do you think I've been trailing you around for? Exercise?
Oh, stop clowning. Are you sure you saw him walk?
Positive.
She's
Well,
not
you always
clowning.
thought
She
there
doesn't
was
have her
something
makeup
phony
on.
about that guy. Where's his room?
Did you want to see me?
Why, yes. Mr. Jameson, I've been thinking over what you said about those three out there, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if you didn't come pretty close to hitting the nail on the head. I'm going to question them further, and I'd like to have you give me a hand. You could watch their reactions.
I'd be glad to help.
Now, let's get back to this Morgan fellow. How long is it since you've seen him?
Oh, about 6 months.
That was about the time you took this place, wasn't it, Mrs. Jameson?
Yes.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. That's right, George. Lamp. I love that you guys love Lamp. She going on a panty raid? What is this, an 80s movie? I did, Alana. Yes, I did. I needed a beverage. Oh, what? What? There's a bespectacled man that they spoke of earlier. Oh my God! Look at. Oh my.
Did this Morgan fella make any threats against you?
No, not exactly.
Oh my God! The Allied man from Gatsby. He's like the sign, right?
Jameson, could I have a glass of water, please?
Why, certainly. I'll take these things out.
Why,
too.
certainly.
Did you find anything? Give.
Wow. Put on a great
There's some
puppet
belongs
show.
to you.
It's the dog's head.
Where did you find that?
Don't you remember where you put it?
There must be some mistake.
Oh, he can't be the killer.
That's what you think.
You mean you suspect me of these crimes?
Yes.
Me?
But I'm a helpless invalid. I can't even get out of this chair.
That's what we thought. But I saw you get out of that chair.
We
and
all
walk.
saw him get out of that
Why
chair.
did you kill Harrison, Hughes, and Mason?
Why do you want to kill us?
Release us from here. Let us out.
Come on, confess.
I'm the man you want. I killed him. I wanted to kill all of you, too.
Magoo. Yeah, Joe.
You what?
I'm the murderer.
I can't believe it.
Who,
It's true.
Spy? Who? Who?
I thought I could get away with it. You see, I can walk. I've got strength in my hands, too. I put it on like this. and then I'd go for their throat.
You're not fooling
Take it
anybody.
easy, not so fast.
Yeah, Lana, of course. Can't have moth anything
sorry, no.
without a lamp.
I guess I was mad with hatred.
Man.
Take me away. I'm your man.
Why did you do this?
You wouldn't understand.
Get that rope over there.
You don't.
We'll tie his hands up until the police come. Why did you commit these crimes?
Why? Well, what do you care? I've confessed, haven't I?
There's not much I can say, but I really feel sorry for you.
This guy. The thickest glasses you've ever seen. Yeah, Toast. Isn't that fitting? The goggler. That's good. That's good. What? That is a little excessive.
Certainly is tough on Mrs. Jameson.
Yeah.
But I'm sure glad we caught him.
You've done a swell job, honey. I'm kind of proud of you.
Gee, it's nice to hear you say that, Jimmy.
I wonder who he's trying to cover up.
Who?
Jameson.
What are you talking about?
He's not guilty.
He's not guilty.
If he was, he'd know why he committed those crimes, wouldn't he?
It's a good point.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh. Yeah, seriously, Joe, the dog stands to collect. And the movie grinds to a halt, Scott. Yeah, it does kind of seem that way, doesn't it? I don't know, y'all. What is she up to? Oh, uh-oh. The owl. Owl Man. Owl Man. What? What is that? She cheating on her husband with this guy? Oh, I love how you could see them turn on the giant the giant film light. That's a candle. That was like when I was a kid, just always surprised by how little light that you actually got from a candle, because I'd see these movies where you light a candle and everything's all lit up. Wait a minute, something's not working right. Nee. No. He is giving. He's a giving lover. Yeah, that's right. One candle lights the whole room. What are you talking about? Yeah, body bar. What am I? What are you crazy? TIE Fire Eagle in the house. Welcome, Ty.
Who are you covering up?
Nobody.
You mean he isn't the killer? Absolutely not.
The murderer is still at large. We cannot escape this death that is closing
Would
in
y'all
on us.
get
Come
off
clean,
my
Jamison,
chair?
Come on, clean. I can't tell.
Not really, Spy. Not really. Why does this guy look like very similar to our confessed murderer? It's clearly not the same guy. Yeah, buddy, that's, yeah, you gotta love those.
You're all going to die. You haven't a chance. For 3 years, I've carefully planned this. There shall be no escape.
Oh my God.
In a few minutes, we'll all be dead.
Where'd that voice come from?
Creepy
From over
as
there
shit.
someplace.
It's the work of a maniac.
The maniac? Count Chocula. Yeah, there we go, Wolf Dog.
Uh-oh.
Now what?
We've got to work fast.
I would have cut that scene. Yes, Scott. You'd be an even better producer than Katzman.
It leads down in the cellar.
Well, if you're going down
This
there,
is
we better
before
take this
Katzman
light.
knew to tear pages out of the script that didn't matter. Yeah, I've noticed that moth, that pseudo armor, just sitting there, like, a nice decor. I wish they would use it in some way.
It was the phonograph record we heard.
A pretty clever gag at that. Hey, this is just a trick to get us down here. See if that upstairs door is locked.
What kind of speaker system they have that gramophone was able to sound so good all the way up there? Well,
I've a few words to say to you, and you'll listen to me. You'd better listen too, Wentworth. Morgan?
Wentworth?
But you can't kill me! I spent a lifetime perfecting an invention that should have made me rich. You stole it from me. You stole my very life away. Oh, but we'll do anything to make matters right. It's too late. Can you give me back my life?
Wait a minute. What I can't understand is, why is Jameson trying to cover you up?
What are you talking about?
He confessed he killed those 3 men.
What 3 men?
Why, Harrison, Mason, and Hughes.
Are they dead?
I didn't do that.
Didn't you know that?
I can't see a thing. How can I kill anybody?
No. Then you're in a spot, too.
These glasses don't even fit on my head.
Never mind that. How did you get in here?
Through that window. Then we can get out that way.
This is Clue. I love how they're all running in a group to places.
Why doesn't he kill us instead of torturing us this way?
There shall be no escape for you now. You must die.
Now I hear the gramophone.
Where's Mrs. Jameson?
The last time I saw her was when I followed her down here.
You followed her?
Yeah, I had a hunch.
Well, she isn't here now.
Well, didn't she come up to the lobby before I did?
Did any of you see her?
No, I didn't.
Then she's between here and the lobby.
Good luck, you're
Will
trapped.
someone kindly tell me what's going on around here?
Oh!
Say your prayers. Your time on this earth is limited.
That's some
to
deep
seconds.
focus.
All of you must die. In this life that you are about to leave, the innocent must suffer. Yes, just like I have suffered.
You're insane.
If I am, Wentworth and his crowd have made me so. You didn't think you'd have to answer to me, did you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You wouldn't. You're very clever, but you're not as resourceful as a person fired with vengeance. The desire to right a great wrong.
Give us a chance, Mrs. Jameson.
Whoa, all right.
Give you a chance. You didn't give Helen Armstrong a chance, did you?
Helen Armstrong?
What has she got to do with your murdering us in cold blood?
Everything.
Everything.
You framed an innocent young girl
She's
to
killing
smuggle
it.
jewels across the border. And then, rather than face the disgrace of going to prison, she killed herself. From that day, I determined that you were all under sentence of death.
Oh.
And now...
I love the cobweb here.
Now, I'm ready to carry out your execution. Helen Armstrong was my sister.
Oh,
When my
that's who the
husband
hell
first
she was,
realized
Aptron.
I'd used the dog's teeth to kill. He utilized almost superhuman strength to protect me. He even confessed to my crimes.
None of yous.
Knowing
None of yous.
it was my love for Helen that brought you all here. I want you to look carefully in the ceiling.
In the ceiling.
There you'll see a little glass bomb.
A glass bong?
All
What?
I have to do is to pull this cord. It will drop among you. The panel will close.
I love this right
And
now,
you'll
y'all.
be caught like rats in a trap.
She's killing it. This is her time to shine.
When you are all dead, I will burn the tavern and destroy all evidence.
The light bulb did it. Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Jameson.
What? Oh, thank God. Whew. I thought we were going to be held accountable.
I wonder what this means. I don't know. It wasn't this way when I left. Yeah?
Yeah, remember, Scott, they rent.
Here's a few customers for you. Book her for murder.
Book her
Here's
for
smuggling.
murder.
Here's a grip full of evidence.
I'm sorry it took me so long, but...
Right this way, Coroner.
Pardon me, but I'm the justice of the peace.
Why, how are you, Justice?
There's no
Glad to
peace
see you.
here.
I thought you told me to get a...
What a horrible
justice of the
house.
peace.
If I'm not greatly mistaken, we did want to see this gentleman.
Why, sure, that's what we came here for.
Is it? Wow, haul
Step
them
into the
away.
church.
Take them away, boys.
Do your stuff, Justice.
Do you take this woman to be your
Justice.
lawful wife?
I do.
Do you take this man to be
She
your lawful...
does.
I then declare you
That's
now man
done.
and wife.
Great. My goodness. What an ending. That was the exciting conclusion of the Rogues Tavern, and I gotta say, y'all are 100% right. For like 5 minutes, maybe more, nothing was happening. And then she got to give her little monologue, and that like made up for any like kind of lollygagging, because that was great. She killed it. You know, it's like when he confessed, I was on the same page of, okay, well, it can't be him. We still have 20 minutes of the movie left. There's no way. So I was kind of surprised that it was her. At the same time, not. But we don't like. Yeah, there you go. 5 bags of tavern. 5 bags of. That's a 5-bagger for sure. Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and it's funny because you know the movie that we watched last week is kind of similar, and you know, and we're all here, so there's no kind of spoilers. I mean, don't go watch last week. Well, spoiler for last week. Well, not a spoiler for last week, because I don't know, because last week was confusing as hell. But when your killer is a woman, that's just like, you don't see that like real, like when it's a murder mystery or there's some mystery behind who the killer is, and at the end it's like, you know, it's just always kind of like a little bit of a surprise, especially with these older movies, when the killer turns out to be, you know, the sweet old lady. Maybe I'm a sap. Maybe I'm the only one that didn't see it coming. But I like that. I enjoy that. Yeah, see, Kathy knows. Like, last week's movie was like I still haven't watched. I'm gonna have to watch it many more times. But I liked it a lot. Like, even the next day when I was thinking more about it, I was like, man, I really liked that movie last night. Keep my grave open. So yeah, I mean, tonight's movie was really it was pretty solid. So we had a lot of fun with this movie. We just had a lot of fun hanging out tonight. Of course, everybody that came over from the double drive-in, you guys are amazing. We had so much fun hanging out with you guys. The Drunk Review reached out wanting to do this raid and said that you guys would enjoy this movie, and y'all did. I have said just to my audience that's here every week how much I appreciate them, because it makes the movie so much more fun when we're all just joking about it, watching it, laughing together. And we don't get 20, 30 people in here at a time to all laugh and joke about a movie. So it was really special, and we cannot thank you guys enough for coming in and hanging out with us tonight, and Drunk Review for setting this up. I mean, this was really special and really a lot of fun. And it was it's our first raid. We have not been raided before. So it was absolutely amazing. Again, it's all just about the idea of bringing together people that care about, classic movies and not so classic movies, kind of legacy media, these older things that are in the public domain, even stuff that's not, stuff that's just kind of been dropped by the wayside. It's like all here for us to enjoy. And, again, we understand what we're watching. It's okay to crack jokes. We're not all taking it super seriously. And I even have to separate myself from just wanting to deliver fact after fact after fact. But it's still just so, it warms my heart to be able to hang out with more people that, just enjoy this type of these types of movies. And that's why I made this whole show, was just to kind of bring more of those people together. So I really appreciate the Drunk Review helping me further my mission and kind of, just again connecting people. I'm sure a few of my guys already spent some time over there, but if my Scream streamers, if you haven't checked out the Drunk Review, go over there, check them out. They've got plenty of stuff all weekend long. They have a great drive-in, obviously, as everyone here can attest. And we really, 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 again, you guys have worked, Drunk Review has worked so hard to build this great audience that has graced us with your presence tonight. So we are humbled, and we will support you guys. We'll be there, and it will hopefully you guys will come back and hang out with us. When you aren't in the drive-in and we've got something going on, we'll be over here. We're always Fridays at 9. You can always rest assured that. Sometimes we do Wednesdays. Sometimes we have some other streams. Saturdays, I run some movies, but I'm not here. So we, we're around, and so, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But just y'all being in the chat and providing so much fun for us tonight. I mean, it really, it's the joy of again, the good side of social media, right? Like, what the joy of all this is connecting with like-minded people that enjoy, can find enjoyment. You're not somebody that's immediately rolling your eyes when you see, oh, it's a black and white movie from 1936. Next, like, hey, there's value in everything, limitations. But in these movies that we watch, even Ed Wood's stuff, which is called the worst of all time, which really we've talked about is not deserved, but even the stuff that's called the worst of the worst has some merit, and we enjoy it on this show, and we're glad to find other people that enjoy it as well. So and on that note, next week we will be back on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time for I guess we're going in a supernatural direction. Hopefully, it's another movie I haven't seen, but we're shifting I always like to balance when we do like an older movie, then the next week's a newer movie, and back and forth. So next week we're going to be watching The Ghost, which is a 1963 Italian Gothic horror movie starring Barbara Steele, the queen of Italian Gothic horror, and maybe Gothic horror in general. This is one I have not seen before. It's in color. It looks cool. It looks, the color looks intriguing. It reminds me of Scared to Death, one of my favorite public domain horror movies. Hope that doesn't make anybody think any less of me out there. But I really, 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 I'm always looking for my next Scared to Death. So we got a ghost story in color, starring a great horror actress. So we're already just checking some boxes there. I'm feeling pretty good about, but we'll have to see next Friday at 9 p.m. So please, if you're not doing anything, come hang out with us then, and every Friday. Again, all, drunk review, all of my Scream streamers, if you haven't subscribe, go hang out there whenever they're doing stuff. I know I'll be over there hanging out. It's been so great to get to I don't meet some of y'all, but again, just, the chatting, it helps me kind of, oh, okay, yeah, this person, that person, they're all so cool. So, and I hope that y'all had fun here and keep the fun going every Friday. So, thanks to all our double drive-in raids. Thanks to the drunk review, and of course all my Scream streamers out there. So until next week. We'll have our Saturday Night Shockers tomorrow. We'll be running those, but I don't know if that may be at the same time as the drive-in, so don't, no pressure. But when we're live, when I'm here next Friday, if you guys aren't doing anything, we'll be here. So until next week, sweet screams, everybody.